On today's episode of Phinisde The NFL, we are going to recap day one of Miami Dolphins Mandatory Minicamp. As not only did everyone show up, but we got some interesting comments from Tua Tagovailoa, some interesting comments from Tyreek Hill, and some comments from Mike McDaniel that were intriguing as well. So we'll talk about all that, plus Tua continuing to look as sharp as ever during sessions he participated in. We will talk about that. Plus, are the Miami Dolphins further along with Tua and his contract extensions than we may have originally thought? Plus, the Dolphins take care of some of their draft class today. Man, we got a ton to talk about. It's just a tease, but it feels like football's back. So smash that like button, subscribe if you're new, and let's get into this.
Loses the football. Touchdown! Got it! You have got to be kidding me. Jalen has a Dolphin touchdown. And he will score! Deep upfield down the near side, man open. Touchdown! The run from Tua Tagovailoa. Touchdown! He's going deep. It's going to be a touchdown again.
Beautiful day to be a Dolphin fan. Let's go! What is good, Fin Nation? What's good? It's your boy Reason. We are back here for another one. Football's in the air. You can feel it. The feelings everywhere. It may only be 3 days, and it may just be a tease, but it sure feels like football is back as we are getting a little taste of what training camp will feel like. Man, it's feeling good right now. We got a ton of news to go over today. We got a ton of clips to go over, just a lot to go over. And actually, we're going to be starting from something that dropped yesterday and working our way to today. Guys, over 120 of you already in the chat, and we're not even 3 minutes in. Smash that like button. Subscribe if you are new. I got to give y'all I got to give you guys your flowers, all right? The Phinisde fam is coming through like I knew all of you would, all right? The Sideline T podcast, all right? First of all, if y'all aren't aware, I'm going to have a new show coming this Sunday with me, Brittany from the Sideline T podcast, and a few others, and it's going to be every Sunday night at 8 p.m. And listen, we started off 2 days ago. She was at 51 subs. We started promoting her on this channel 2 days ago. She's already at 330. She's 170 away from 500. Why does that matter? Because not only do we want to get her to that half century mark. Sorry, I apologize. That's definitely not a century, okay? A century is 100. Not only is she halfway towards that 1,000 mark, we want her to go live, and she has told me she's going to go live on her channel when she hits 500. So the sooner we get her there, the sooner we can pressure her into going live. So go over there, show some love. All right, I've got it in the chat. All right, as usual, I've got it taken care of in the chat. So go show her some love. All right, go subscribe, and yeah. Go show some love to Brittany. Y'all are going to like what we bring this weekend, and trust me on that, okay? Trust me on that, all right? So go show her some love. Go subscribe to the Sideline T podcast, all right? And I want to thank all of you that went out of your way and subscribed to the Dive Bar podcast. Go subscribe to them as well. Here's, man, you know, it just, it just feels good that football's back. It just feels good that it feels like we got something to talk about. You know what I mean? Man, you know, I know we got to wait till the end of July. I know we're not quite there yet. I get it. But just these next 3 days, it's going to be nice to have a little taste. And if you don't remember, tomorrow I'll be live by myself. There will be no finish line tomorrow, but I will be live on Thursday with Neil for Fin Too Deep. So make sure you guys tune in. All right. Make sure you guys show some love. And I want y'all to come out this Sunday at 8 p.m., man. I want y'all to come out and show some love this Sunday at 8 p.m. I really think y'all going to like what I'm bringing to the table here. It's something different, something new, something fresh. All right. So come through, show some love. All right. I appreciate each and every one of you. Let's do a quick shout out to everyone in the chat. Charles Hilton, Joey LaSalle, Ryan AP, Taryn Langhover, Aladino Mass, Kyle, Robert Thomason, Pro Special, Powerhouse, TJ, Coach AJ, what's good, homie? Chef Jew, OG Life, Brian Walters, Jason Keck, the homie foxing around, Hooked Up Joe. I was actually thinking about you yesterday, Hooked Up. Hope you're doing good, bro. Hope to see you around this season, dude. I was actually thinking about you the other day. I was like, man, I haven't seen him much, right? Bob Oliver, Andrew Harris, and remember, I'm not saying you haven't been here. It's just I usually only super pay attention to all the names during the shoutouts. Throughout the show, I see different names, but I don't know who's coming in, who's coming out. Dolphin, Don, Jeffrey Ward, Knight. We're going to talk about that. We are going to talk about what you just said and that word you just said. Don't worry, we get into that, Knight. Don't worry. KF, what's going on? Chris G, Scotty up in here, Roger Goins, Cool Iguana. How are you doing? Cool. Been around for a minute too. James Steele, Tefo family. What's going on? We saw the interview came here. Dolphin Man, Jared. Are you certified, Jared? Let me know. Chuck Fins up. How are you doing, sir? Guy, Chuck Terzian. Al Kilpatrick, what's going on? The Marlboro Man. When's the Duff Man going to show up, Marlboro? Denisha, how's it going, Denisha? Hope you're good. Eminem, in and out of the chat like he's Houdini. Mudbone, BX, Russell Swan. Shout out to all you. OG Barry. Shout out to each and every one of you. Jalapeno Steve. Are you a Trailer Park fanboy? Do you like jalapeno chips and Steve French? Galley. Joshua Evans, Tori Dixon, Robert Carrillo, Stretch 5, Bam, Split 305. How you doing, sir? George, one of the original OGs, George Albanese. What's up? Captain Charisma, Christian, Troy Nuke. Yeah, we saw those Justin Simmons eyes, didn't we? Huh? Didn't we? We all saw it. Isaiah Mullins. GGB Chronicles, Finn Fella, Gary Skeleton, Barney Miller, Philemo Aragon. What's going on? JJ, Box Break Locals, Aaron Andrews. JJ, you need to hit me up, bro. The well has run dry up here with optic blasters. I need megas and blasters. Shout out to all of you in the chat. South Florida. Don, how are you doing, sir? Big Slick, R.I.P. Larry Allen. Why is Lamar skipping? I don't know. He just wants to send the money in. He just wants to give back to his Baltimore community with some money. That's why he's missing. Now, interesting little tidbit named there in the chat, pointed out in the chat. Yesterday, all right, someone by the name of Ross Tucker, I don't know who that is, tweeted out about let's win your golf event and then you get you a one-way ticket to McDaniel Land, and then tagged Justin Simmons. Justin Simmons returned with the eye emoji. Replied with the eye emoji. Give me Justin Simmons, please. Please give me Justin Simmons. I'm begging you. I'm not on my knees, and you guys have seen me get on my knees and beg for Jason Sanders to make a winning field goal on this channel before, and then I proceeded to kick out the power like a goofball right after. So y'all have seen that during the live reaction. But I'm pretty damn close to get on my knees. Get me Justin Simmons. Oh my God, please God. With the things they want to do with Ramsey and the things they want to do with Javon Holland, it's just gonna open up even more. Please, God, make this defense just throw. Listen, I'm here for it. Throw everything and the kitchen sink at trying to get to at least the AFC East, to at least try and get a division title and get to the AFC Championship game. Throw everything in the kitchen sink at it, baby. I'm sorry. We learned last year how much home field advantage means. You got to go out and you got to put a roster that's going to win 14 to 15 games. And I really think we are we are either a healthy interior and a defensive interior rotation that actually produces away from that, or we are depth-wise away from that. It's one of those two things, because then I say or depth-wise because people are going to get injured and you're going to be relying on depth in those two areas. That's why I say that. So, man, just get as many elite, high-level bodies as you can on this team, and let's go. Throw everything in the kitchen sink at this year. I'm telling you. Go look at that situation over in Buffalo right now. They are weakening by the year. You had them on the ropes last year. They are a weaker roster. Never mind the ropes. They shouldn't even get there. They should be knocked out in the middle rounds. No one outside the media believes this New York Jet hype. Well, no one outside the media in New York believes this Jet hype. We all know what's going to happen there. We all know we're going to run through New England and they ain't ready. I'm as big of a Drake May was my number one heading into this college football season, let alone heading into the draft. So everyone knows how big of a fan I am of Drake May. But we going to whoop that ass. At least in year one. I do think he's going to get good by year 2, year 3. But that's all going to be about how they surround him. I do not think he went to the best situation. I do not think he went to the best situation at all. If Drake May would have made it to Minnesota, I'm telling you, Drake May would have lit up the league by year 2 or year 3 with Justin Jefferson. I'm telling you. Anyways, I digress. Please, for the love of God, just get the bodies. Just throw everything in the kitchen sink. Did you see Hassan Reddick is stealing their money? I saw people talking about him on Twitter, right? What is he not show? He wasn't showing up to OTAs or whatever. I don't know. Was that what is happening? He's not showing up, right? He's not, and they just acquired him, right? And he's not showing up. Isn't that the deal? What's going on right now? I don't know. The joke, the Jets, to me, I can't believe people are actually, I can't believe people are actually putting their eggs in that basket, believing that Aaron Rodgers is going to get back to MVP form. And the disrespect Achane gets while people are gassing up Breece Hall right now. Stop right now. Achane had a better rookie season and played far less snaps than Breece Hall did. And ridiculous. He did show up and the coach doesn't know why. I thought he didn't show up. I thought he was skipping OTAs. That's what I thought I saw. Right? I after being traded, I thought he hadn't attended anything yet. So that's what I thought. I didn't know he showed up. So I know he has like 1 year left on his deal, right? So I thought he didn't show up. Oh yeah, he didn't. Okay, I see. You said he meant he didn't. Okay, cool. Yeah. I get you. Yeah. Steal it, baby. Steal it. Let's go. Take that money. Listen, I got things in the works, people. All right. And I know you're gonna have to deal with me, but I might be coming down for that Raiders game. And there are talks going on right now with me coming down to that Buffalo game in week 9. All right. For some Bar Bill Tavern, some, Cajun honey butter buffalo wings, and some beef on Weck. So we'll see what happens. But man, those Jets, listen, that's the thing. I've said this. Okay, let's say Aaron Rodgers is all good. Let's say he's all good, right? First of all, that offensive line's a disaster. He's going to be running for his life on the worst field for players in the NFL injury-wise. And that's pretty much known, okay? But let's say he's normal and everything goes right and he stays healthy. I keep telling everyone this. Tua puts up numbers against that defense. Like, it's not like Tua is squeaking out wins here. That's why we all saw the discrepancy between Skylar Thompson running the offense when we barely snuck into the playoffs that last game of the season compared to when Tua plays them. Tua, torches them, right? I don't know if you saw the clip of Sauce Gardner. Sauce Gardner was just talking about us. And he's talking about Tyreek and Waddle. And he was talking about how you just can't game plan for Tyreek Hill. And he made sure to say, because he's like, that boy Jalen Waddle will cook you too. You cannot just focus on one. You got to be on your P's and Q's with both. So, that's the thing. Not only does Rodgers need to be healthy, he's going to need to put up yards against us. And our defense is damn good. And our offense, they pretty much know how to light that defense up. So what are we worried about here? I'm not worried about this at all. I don't get this Jets hype. I really don't. I got to see this to believe it. Man, I'm sorry. The same people who will say, oh, Tua needs to show me he can win in the playoffs. Tua needs to show me he can do this and that, are the same people, oh, look out for the Jets. Oh, they're good, dude. Look out for the Jets. What are we talking about? The Jets are worse against us than we are in December and January. That's guess what? Did you know Tua's 9-7 in December for his career? Did you know that? Put your hand up in the chat if you knew Tua was actually 9-7 in his career in the month of December. And let me know if anyone knew that. Right? Let me know if anyone knew that. And it should be at least 10-6, because if Tyreek Hill or Trent Sherfield do their job in Buffalo, in cold weather, in snow, we win that game. Also, if Josh Boyer does his job, instead of allowing them to convert a 3rd and 17 and then score to end the half, we win that game. Everyone around Tua let him down in that game. Sherfield and Tyreek had key drops that would have been touchdowns and won us the game. And Josh Boyer and that defense did not get off the field on 3rd and 17 and allowed a touchdown to end the half, which should have never happened. So Tua should actually be 10-6 in December if we really want to do some math here. Just saying. But these people that come out here, but you would think the way these people talk about Tua, he's 2-11 in December. People seem to forget the hype of that Dallas game when he drove us down that field for that winning touchdown to finish that off. Same people who will probably say, oh, we need to go get Dak. Just saying. I'm just saying. That's the reality of the situation. Now, if you want to have, and on the flip side, if you want to have the conversation, he's 1-3 in January. But remember, again, he's only played 4 games in January. But he's 1-3. And 2 of those losses are to Buffalo. So, and only one of those losses has come since 2022. January 2022. So that means the 2021-2022 season. All right? So, I'm just saying. And let's be honest, this whole team has an issue with the Bills. This is not a Tua thing. This goes back to the loss in Tua's rookie year where his win get in and the only guy who got off the freaking bus was Andrew Van Ginkel. Remember, Tua did beat them. And again, I go back to that December game. Tua actually should have swept them that year if guys around him did his job. Just saying. Anyways, let's get into it. Over 373 of you in the room. Smash that like button. Subscribe if you're new. Okay, speaking of Tua, let's go chronologically. So let's start with something that came out yesterday. So this is from the NFL Insiders. Again, I've screenshotted it, a clip from the segment, and added the audio to it because these people like to demonetize now. So I'm going to play this clip. Are the Miami Dolphins closer to a deal than maybe we think, which is something I've kind of been talking about. And this is why. So this is why I'm even saying that. Listen to this.
I was thinking that. It really is an unbelievable turn. I was like, well, could Tua finish the season? Can he lead a team to the playoffs? It's like check, 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 and now he gets the big check. And I'm with you. It does seem that the two sides have done considerable work on this. They seem a little bit further along in the Trevor Lawrence extension, which I know the Jaguars would like done. I know Trevor Lawrence and his agent would like done. But there is some benefit to Lawrence for him to sit back and say, you know what? Let me just wait. Maybe Tua, who for sure has wanted an extension done this spring. That certainly is still possible. Could there be something done in the next couple of days? These things can turn on a dime. It is all up in the air. It is all certainly possible there. And for Trevor Lawrence to sit back, see what Tua got, and then really get to work on his own deal, that could benefit them. But I do think the two sides will probably end up being kind of around where the other is in the end.
So there you go. Now, what have we heard over the last 3 or 4 weeks? Right? The Jaguars are going to pay Trevor Lawrence $50+ million. Check. All right? The Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence both want the deal done. Trevor Lawrence even talked about it yesterday to the media. I believe it was yesterday or the day before. I believe it was yesterday. Talked to the media about it. Check. It's been publicly reported the Jaguars want that deal done sooner than later. Check. So when Ian Rappaport comes out here and now says Tua Tagovailoa and the Miami Dolphins are further along in contract talks, what does that tell you? The framework seems to be worked out, like I've said. Because think about it. If we know the Jaguars are willing to pay him $50+ million, but Rappaport's telling us the Dolphins are further along in contract talks, what does that tell you? That they pretty much know the number that it's going to be at. Both sides are pretty much in the vicinity of the number. I am telling you right now, mark my words, and I've said it over and over and over and over again. This is coming down to the final details. This is more about how it's structured and guaranteed money. That's what this is coming down to. The finer details of the contract. If Tua did not have his injury history, this contract would be done. I can pretty much say that. I can pretty much say that like with utmost confidence. I'm telling you, this is coming down to the finer details. It goes back to Cam Wolf telling us weeks ago, right? It's going to come in and around Jared Goff's money. Why did that hold so much weight that I told you? Because Cam's plugged into Tua's camp and the Dolphins. So what did that tell you? Both sides pretty much know where they're at in terms of money. So this is coming down to the finer details. That's what's holding this up. And we've talked about this, right? Playtime incentives, injury protections. It's different when that comes to defensive linemen, edge rushers, offensive tackles. When it comes to franchise quarterbacks, agents will balk at that. Agents will hold their line and hold a position. That's what this is all coming down to. Guaranteed money and the finer details of the structure of how it's all structured. I'm telling you right now. And I've been saying that. All right. So let's start to get into things today. All right. We got a bunch to go over for all of you guys. Now, let's start off with how the day started off. Okay. In case you did not see it. The Miami Dolphins today announced that they have signed 5 draft picks. Muhammad Kamara, Patrick McMorris, wide receiver Malik Washington, Tajay Washington, and running back Jaelan Wright. So they announced all, 5, the 2 Washingtons and 5 in total signing. Now, why does this matter and why? And I know people are going to be like, well, what about Patrick Paul? What about Chop? Okay, the reason why this was done, all right, and we kind of talked about this on the show yesterday, right? And the reason why this was done was these 5 draft picks will not change the salary cap for this. Only the top 51 salary cap charges count against your salary cap until roster cuts. So that's why they took care of that. These guys will kick in when the season starts, but right now they do not count against the cap. But Chop Robinson and Patrick Paul will count against the cap. That's why you haven't seen those deals done yet. And again, they still have money to clear up. Tua extension clears up money. Right? That's what happens. A Tyreek adjustment to that contract clears up money for next year and this year too. So there you go. Muhammad Kamara, McMorris, Malik Washington, Tajay Washington, and Jalen Wright, all the guys who aren't accounting against the top 51 salaries on the team, have been signed. All right. So they announced that today. That was the first thing that came out today. And then McDaniel took to the podium. All right. And McDaniel, I mean, he talked about Tyreek Hill a little bit today, right? He talked about Jonnu Smith today. Now, in terms of, what he went over, there was a lot to break down. He even touched on Tua as well. All right. Now, personally, from where I'm at, let's talk about what he said regarding Tyreek Hill today. Okay. So this is what he said regarding Tyreek Hill. As the Miami Dolphins begin their 3-day mandatory minicamp Tuesday, Coach Mike McDaniel addressed the standing of Tyreek Hill as a star wide receiver seeks more money this offseason. Hill was in the building Tuesday along with every other Dolphins player, as McDaniel noted 100% attendance for the mandatory sessions that followed voluntary OTAs, which had several key veterans absent. I saw a very happy Tyreek Hill just today face-to-face. Hill, though, did not participate in team portions of Tuesday's session. Hill was the highest paid wide receiver 2 years ago at the time of this trade from the Kansas City Chiefs to the Dolphins, but a number of contracts at the position have surpassed his now, one of which was just Jefferson's 4-year, $140 million extension with the Minnesota Vikings. The star wideout is making $31.3 million in 2024, but has no guarantees in his contract beyond the upcoming season. So, and then it goes in about how Rosenhaus, what he said to Josh Moser, So here's the thing, okay, now, we're going to talk about this, okay, all right. Hill might be limited in his practice activity, as McDaniel said the team has to measure his work in drills. He's expected to work out on the sideline instead of participating. McDaniel was asked why Hill's contract has not yet been adjusted or restructured, and he declined to answer, keeping the focus on football drills Tuesday. Miami's number 2 wide receiver, Jalen Waddle, already earned his extension Tuesday, adding 3 years to his deal to keep him with the team through 2028. Going into his 4th season, he's only expected to expand on 3,000-yard seasons to start his career. He's continued to develop, which is great news for the Miami Dolphins, McDaniel said. I think he's a big-time player that is hungry. McDaniel started the Tuesday presser by acknowledging that quarterback Tua Tagovailoa was also with the team for the start of minicamp after he had some sporadic absences during voluntary sessions. Tagovailoa, though, may not participate in all team portions of the drills throughout minicamp as he continues to have contract negotiations with the front office. We're going to have him out there and he's going to be participating, but the depth and really across the board what he's doing, that'll be more up to him than anything. There you go. Tuesday, Tua Tagovailoa didn't take reps in the 11-11 setting of practice, but was involved in 7-on-7. So there you go. Now, linebacker Chop Robinson continues to get more extensive taste of NFL practice as minicamp begins after limited participation during OTAs the past 2 weeks. The first round pick out of Penn State said the speed each player possesses is up another level from college ball. Everybody on the offense is fast. I'd say the biggest thing, keeping up with the speed of the people. Robinson credited opposing offensive tackles Austin Jackson, fellow rookie Patrick Paul for sharpening his skill set during practice. We're just giving each other tools like how I beat him or how he beat me, Robinson said. So we're just learning from each other and getting better as a team. The 6'3" pass rusher is one of many fresh faces on Miami's defense, including defensive coordinator Anthony Weaver in his 13-year coaching career. Weaver helped develop high-level pass rushers like J.J. Watt, Jadeveon Clowney, and Mario Williams. Robinson said Weaver's aggressive coaching style is effective for him and something he embraces. He just wants the best for you. He just wants the best for the team. That's how I like to be coached, and that's just a blessing to have him as my coach. So, I mean, beautiful, beautiful thing to see Chop Robinson embracing, just totally embracing, Anthony Weaver and embracing the process already. Now, in terms of Hill, we just heard that Hill did not participate today. We just heard that, McDaniel gave you a cover story, right? Like that's basically what he did, right? McDaniel said the team has to measure his work in drills. He's expected to work out on the side. That's because Tyreek told him, yo, coach, not happening. I'm showing up. I'm here. But until I get that, it's a hold-in. See, that's the thing. All these players believe in what we're doing here. They all like playing with each other. They all love their situation. They just want new money. That's why they're holding in. That's why Tua, like I said, when people were breaking news, Tua Tagovailoa was holding out, I said, no, if anything, Tua, I literally, go back, find the receipt. I literally said, if anything, Tua will hold in. I said, he probably won't participate in everything. And what happened? That's the second media session in a row where he's doing everything but the 11 on 11s. That's literally what's happening. Because they're happy with the situation. They believe they can win. They all believe that it's better to play out if they don't get their money this offseason because they'll just increase their value. That's what they're all, because they know how good this can be. And so that's why they're all showing up. I mean, you got other people like Brandon Ayuk who's not even showing up to this stuff. You got Hassan Reddick not showing up to stuff like you talked about. So, no, everything's good to go. It's going to be fine. All right. Now, let's get into the stuff. Let's get into some things here, okay? So, we're going to get into observations, and then we're going to get into Tua addressing everything and Tyreek addressing everything, okay? So let's do this. So let's start off with this. Poor Omar. A highlight of Dolphins' first minicamp practice. Jalen Phillips came outside from rehabbing inside, yelled for Omar Kelly to watch him, and jogged, asking loudly if he's still limping. Indeed, Phillips was not limping with his stride. And remember, I mentioned this. Brian Baldinger also said he was limping too, right? I played the clip here. Right, we played the clip on the finish line where Baldinger thinks we're going to take a step back because he's like, you got Jaelen Phillips out here limping around. Brian Baldinger also thinks, listen, I like Brian Baldinger. I respect the hell out of him, but he's out of his mind thinking the Jets are going to be as good as he's made them out to be. But he's another one who said Jaelen Phillips is going around limping around. So JP out here absolutely destroying narratives. Let's give JP a round of applause because, baby, we need you week one, Jalen. We need you with Chop. We need you with Mo. We need you with Shaq Barrett. We need you with Zach Sealer. We need you on that offensive line, Jalen. Sorry, on that defensive line, Jalen. We need you wreaking havoc on offensive lines, Jalen. So we need you, bro. I love it, though. I love it. A little sass. And just for clarity, in case you didn't see, the man in the orange jersey today was Jeff Wilson Jr. All right? Jeff Wilson Jr. was wearing the orange jersey today. I told y'all, when Barry Jackson dropped that nugget weeks and weeks ago that I brought up multiple times here because we brought up the article where he dropped the nugget. When he dropped that nugget that he said they got no plans of getting rid of Jeff Wilson, I'm telling you, it's Raheem, Jeff Wilson, Jalen Wright, and Devin Achane. Chris Brooks is going to go to the practice squad, and Salvin Ahmed has turned into a camp body that loves living in Florida. That's basically what he's turning into. I'm sorry. That's going to be the 4 they roll with. Get ready for it. So let's get into camp observations, all right? Because we got a lot to get into with just that alone, all right? Just that alone, we got a lot to get into. So, all right, Tua delivers another sharp day in limited work. You might be asking yourself, but reason, the title of this video says Tua puts on a clinic, da-da-da-da-da. Go look at Travis Wingfield's Twitter. And I quote, camp day is a wrap. Tua with another clinic. So I ain't lying. And all this stuff we're about to show you backs that up. Tua Tagovailoa continues to sit out the Miami's 11-11 work while his camp negotiates for a multi-year extension. But the team's starting quarterback was dealing during the 7-on-7 periods he threw during Tuesday's practice. Even without the participation of Odell Beckham Jr., who's seemingly rehabbing an undisclosed injury, and Tyreek Hill, who's allegedly on a load management program for Miami's coaches, Tagovailoa carved up every defensive unit he faced in Miami's red zone, 7-on-7, and other situational periods. Tua Tagovailoa handled all but one 7-on-7 series, and all but 3 of his passes were completions. 2 of those passes were drops from Braylon Sanders and Matthew Sexton. That's what happens out here throwing the jabronis again. The other was a pass to slot receiver that cornerback Siran Neal broke up. Plenty of Tagovailoa's completions were on checkdowns, which Devon Achane turned up to do a significant damage on multiple plays. Man, I'm telling you, he's going to be a big part of that passing offense this year. I have heard big things with him being in terms of receiver this year. They're going to be Jalen. You are going to see packages with Jalen or Raheem in the backfield and Devon Achane lining up in the slot or as a receiver. I'm telling you, get ready for it. And when it happens, don't say I didn't warn you, and I wasn't the first to tell you, because I've been telling you for quite some time. The second-year tailback was the top playmaker of the day because his speed made him challenge in open space, especially in 7-on-7 work. But Tagovailoa threw a pair of touchdown passes to tight end Tanner Conner, who spent last season on the Dolphins practice squad. The best pass of practice came from Tagovailoa, and it was a 25-yard dime in the seam of the defense to rookie tight end Hayden Rucci. There you go. Jennifer Forbish, where's my girl at? I know you're liking that one. Also, notable was a 7-on-7 play where Jalen Waddle roasted Cam Smith for a corner route he caught on a touchdown in the back of the end zone. Hey, the kid's got to get it. The kid's got to learn right now. I'd rather Cam Smith be getting cooked by Jalen Waddle in June than being cooked by Jalen Waddle in August. White also had a nice completion to Waddle on a back shoulder throw that evaded Kendall Fuller's coverage, converting a first down during 11-11s. River Craycraft also caught a 5-yard touchdown pass in the back of the end zone, beating rookie cornerback Jason Mater. During 11-11 work, which featured Mike White and Skylar Thompson handling all the snaps, the defense won the day. Pass rusher Quentin Bell stopped a check down pass to rookie tailback Jalen Wright in the backfield. Zach Sealer tipped a pass at the line of scrimmage during 11-11 period. Anthony Walker continues to make plays as he tipped a pass at the line of scrimmage during 11-11, and it was nearly picked off. And then rookie pass rusher Muhammad Kamara sacked Thompson on a 3rd-and-1 situation from the 6-yard line, extinguishing a drive during 11-11. So Muhammad Kamara out here making plays continuously. And so is Anthony Walker. I'm telling you, I told all y'all, that wide receiver core, Khalil Shakir, Curtis Samuel, Keon Coleman, they got a bunch of number 2s and 3s that they're going to try and make work in Buffalo. And I have a feeling it's going to be a Dalton Kincaid show, and we got the backers that can cover, baby. I love it. Injury update. Everyone was in attendance for the mandatory minicamp work, but the usual suspects in terms of Jalen Phillips, Bradley Chubb, Cameron Good didn't participate because of the various injuries. Terron Armstead attended Tuesday's practice but worked with trainers. When the team was on the field, he could be spotted having a lengthy chat with Chris Greer. Tier Tart was the only defensive lineman not participating. His absence allowed Benito Jones and Brandon Pilley to handle the bulk of the nose tackle snaps in Miami's new defense. Chris Brooks has been absent from all of the on-field work during the past 3 weeks, seemingly nursing an undisclosed injury. Man, brother, that ain't good for you. Tight end Jonnu Smith, who hasn't worked in any of the OTA sessions the media has attended the past 2 weeks, participated in 11-11 reps and caught a handful of passes. Newly signed center Aaron Brewer, who sat on most of the OTA sessions the media has attended because of an undisclosed injury, participated in today's session. Jalen, Ramsey, and Kendall Fuller, who has skipped most, if not all, of the offseason program, were heavy participants. Nick Needham, who has worked all OTAs, missed Tuesday's session and was apparently working with the team's trainers. That's another thing, too, I got to tell you guys. I'm telling you, McDaniel had a lot of positive things to say regarding Jonnu Smith. Like, he did. He literally called Jonnu Smith. He said he's become a master of yak, not only because of his speed, but because of his mindset. And he talked about there's always going to be opportunities there for Jonnu Smith. Man, this offense is going to be exciting, man. Oh, my God. Y'all thought we were the greatest show on surf last year. You're going to need a new name for this year. I'm telling you already. Oh, my God. How can you not be pumped, huh? Continuing on here. Flipping over to the Sun Sentinel's observations. We got to go all the different publications because we always hear different things, right? So, the Miami Dolphins had day 1 of their mandatory 3-day minicamp on Tuesday at the Baptist Health Training Complex. Here are some observations, including those who participated in the roughly 90-minute session. By the way, much of what we saw as a media group, such as who was deep on kickoff returns, can't be recorded because it gives away strategy. Coach Mike McDaniel said the Dolphins have 100% participation at minicamp, but a few players didn't participate in Tuesday's practice for various reasons. Chubb and Phillips, Armstead, Hill, and OBJ, David Long, Tajay Washington, Aaron Brewer, Tier Tart, Chris Brooks, Nick Needham, and wide receiver Jaquan Burton did not. This is interesting. David Long, I hope he's not hurt. Patreons and channel members know exactly why I'm mentioning that. If you aren't a Patreon or channel member, become one. And you will understand why I'm looking at this right here with a raised eyebrow. Hill said he wants to retire a Miami Dolphin, but said he wants to be a top-paid top 5 player in the process. Tua Tagovailoa, the slimmed-down version, went 11 for 12, passing on his first round of 7-on-7 drills. Tagovailoa, who, such as all of the quarterbacks, was wearing the helmet camera, was threading the needle on a few throws and overall looked comfortable with his new throwing motion, which features the rubber band theory of passing that involves more hip action. Phillips and Chubb didn't walk with a noticeable limp as opposed to the first round of OTAs last month. And for what it's worth, both players sported well sculpted triceps. Listen, here's the thing, all right? Here's the thing with that. Look, why is no one mentioning the call out? Huh? Why is no one bringing out the call out? Huh? I'm just saying. Where is it? So, guard Robert Jones. Oh, sorry. Armstead at a glance looks slimmed down and in great physical shape. So there you go. All right. There you go. Guard Robert Jones also looks slimmed down and in great shape. I mean, he's going to be. You know what I mean? I don't know what else. Quarterback Jaelan Ramsey was on the field for a few snaps in 11-11 and looked to be in Pro Bowl form. No worries there. Cornerback Cam Smith, last year's second-round pick, got a decent number of repetitions and seemed to have good awareness when it came to playmaking, which was the case at this time last year. At one point, Tuesday, veteran cornerbacks Ramsey and Kendall Fuller were seen counseling Cam Smith. So again, Cam Smith continues to be like a sponge. Continues it. I am like, We saw it last year with X and Ramsey. And shout out to Ramsey for continuing to show love and nurture this kid. Right? Like, man, I'm just so, man, Ramsey's been such a great leader. Ramsey's been such a great leader. All right? I can't stress that enough. And, man, Cam Smith is really taking this serious. So, let's go. And that rubber band theory, Tua talks about it, and we're going to play that, all right? So, y'all are going to I'll talk about that a little bit more as we go on here. So, Devon Achane, who has added bulk via muscle, had a 7-yard touchdown reception from Tagovailoa on a wheel route early in 7-on-7s. The running backs had a fairly low-key day, but they were productive. Tagovailoa had a touchdown pass over the middle to tight end Tanner Conner, who continues to show above average athleticism. The tight ends led by Durham Smythe, but with solid contributions from Jonnu Smith and Jody Fortson, had a fruitful day as a tight end, show impressive versatility. River Craycraft, the best blocker at his position, had an impressive juggling touchdown reception in the corner of the end zone. Craycraft, who had an injury-shortened 2023 year, has a chance to be an impact player this season. Anthony Walker batted down a pass thrown by Skylar Thompson, and cornerback Isaiah Johnson almost caught the ball out of the air. Overall, the linebackers were low-key, but they weren't disappointing. Ciaran Neal, known for his special teams acumen, had a pass breakup against Tagovailoa. Neal had a few impact plays from scrimmage. Elijah Campbell taught rookie wide receiver Malik Washington a lesson, perhaps unfairly, about ball security. Washington caught a pass and was jogging back to the huddle, ball loosely under his arm, and Campbell came by and poked it out. Always secure the ball while on the field. Braylon Sanders dropped a pass from Tagovailoa on what happened to be a slant pattern. Rookie quarterback Jason Mater had such good coverage on wide receiver Anthony Schwartz that he forced Tagovailoa into a check down. Tagovailoa had an excellent play in 11. I don't think in 11-11. I think this is 7-on-7. When he looked off the safety and then threw to tight end Hayden Rucci on a seam route, perhaps a 15. So Omar said 25. David Ferron said 15. It was an excellent example of defensive manipulation by Tagovailoa. Zach Sealer, who had an active day, batted down a pass against Mike White as expected. Sealer was a standout interior defensive lineman. Wide receiver Jalen Waddle made a nice adjustment to come back to the ball on a sideline route, catching a pass thrown by Tagovailoa with Fuller in coverage. We saw a variety of new blitz packages and defensive looks from new defensive coordinator Anthony Weaver. This should be an exciting year for a defense that finished number 10 last season and numerous injuries to key players. There you go, the blitz packages and defensive looks. I told you, he comes from that Rex Ryan tree. So there's a lot of similarities to what him and Flores ran, or how they think, I should say, not run. Brazilian soccer player Vinicius Jr., the superstar forward for Real Madrid, stopped by practice Tuesday. It was a big deal. Among those who greeted him and his entourage were Chris Greer, Mike McDaniel, Dan Marino, and OBJ. The Dolphins are on the field for minicamp practices again Wednesday and Thursday. So today's just day one, baby. Today is just day one. You gotta love it. Check this one out. I wanted to check this article out. This is observations from today, but look at the title from the Palm Beach Post. Time to pay up. Tua Tagovailoa sizzling hot during Dolphins minicamp. Tua Tagovailoa is hoping to work out a lucrative long-term extension with the Dolphins. Tuesday's minicamp performance didn't hurt his cause. Quite the contrary. For the workout, McDaniel appeared to suggest Tagovailoa might see limited action, right? And Tagovailoa clearly came ready for action. Here's how it went. Tagovailoa started strong on a series of throws and 7-on-7 throws from the 7-yard line. He never cooled off either. After hitting Devon Achane for a score, he hit Tanner Conner for 2 short touchdowns. He found Achane for another touchdown, a pattern that kept repeating itself in drills. Tagovailoa threw a beautiful ball to Jalen Waddle in the corner of the end zone. He hit Jody Fortson. So there you go. Jody Fortson continuing to make plays. He had a touchdown today. He finally threw an incompletion, a drop by Matthew Sexton. He lobbed one to River Craycraft, who made an outstanding juggling catch in the corner of the end zone. Later, Tagovailoa hit Malik Washington in traffic for a short gain. So there you go. But Washington, listen, he might have had the ball knocked out going back to the huddle, but he's still making plays today. He then looked to Braylon Sanders over the middle, but Sanders dropped it. Tagovailoa did not participate, however, when the Dolphins went to team drills in 11-11. Not spotted working with the team was Tart, Chubb, Phillips, Long, Good, Needham, Ahmed, Brooks, Burton, Tajay Washington, Taron Armstead, Beckham Jr., and there you go. Phillips, there you go. Obviously responding to reports last week that he's still limping following an Achilles surgery, broke into a brief jog in front of reporters in a moment of levity to show where he is in rehab. And Jeff Wilson wore the orange jersey today. So there you go. There are the observations from the Palm Beach Post. But even they're saying, is it time to pay up? He must be looking real crisp if people are out here off the Underwear Olympics saying, oh, is it time to pay up? Guys, over 566 of you in the room. Do me the favor, smash the like button, subscribe if you are new, and go subscribe to the Sideline T podcast with Brittany. We're trying to get her to 500. You guys have got her to over 330 subs from 51 in just 2 days. You guys have added 300 subs alone. Let's get her to 500. She's going to go live when she gets to 500. We got a lot of content coming, including her Phinisde The NFL debut this Sunday with a new format, a new show that I have coming. It's a little bit of a rebrand, but it's a new show and a new format, and I think y'all are going to really like it this Sunday at 8 p.m. All right, so go show her some love on the Sideline T podcast. So let's get into it. So let's talk about Tua. Tua was finally in front of reporters today, and he addressed his contract, his weight, and he even talked about that rubber band theory that we'll talk about. Okay, so let's get into this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not blind to people.
And I'm going to address what you said earlier tonight.
In my position that are getting paid. Am I concerned about it? I'm not concerned about it. There's a lot of discussion, that we've had that, we just are trying to move that thing into the right direction where we can both be happy.
Are you involved in it personally? Does your agent update you like every time there are talks?
Well, my agent updates me, but for me, I don't like updates like every time. Like, you don't got to tell me the little things. Just tell me things that matter. Are we getting to where we want to, or are we not? That's it.
Did you think there'd be more progress at this point in June?
Well, I think there's been a lot of progress at this point.
That's a good thing.
There's been a lot of progress. Now, you can ask the other question, then why aren't we seeing, an agreement? Well, that's the tough part.
Telling you, the details.
Business. That's why you got one side and the other trying to work to
That's it.
meet in the middle.
So how much did that contract negotiation have to do with your attendance during the first part of off-season program?
I love his hair, by the way. I'm not going to lie.
Control any of that. I control.
What a handsome individual.
I don't control.
It's my quarterback.
How they think about that.
What a
Do you view
stud.
those numbers that others get around the league as benchmarks for your negotiations, like Jared Goff getting 53 per year?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. The market is the market. If we didn't have a market, then none of that would matter. It'd just be an organizational thing,
Tell him, Tua.
That guy got paid that because it's up to the organization. So that's what I would say. The market is the market. That's it. Are you
Not frustrated.
So now
I'm another word, but yeah.
Agitated, annoyed, bothered.
Just wanting to get something done. That's it. Just wanted to get something done.
What was your reaction? Go ahead.
Concerned? Is that?
Not concerned. Concerned's not the right word. That's way off from the word.
Antsy, maybe?
Probably antsy in a way, yeah.
Pissed off?
I wouldn't say pissed off. I mean, this is the nature of the beast, right? This is how it goes.
What was your reaction to seeing Jalen Waddle get his name?
I was excited. I texted him. We all texted each other. Jalen Ramsey, Taron Armstead, Reek. We all texted each other in a group chat, congratulating him.
It's got to be a fun group text.
It's the Pro Bowl group chat.
I mean,
Still final question here.
those guys are hilarious. I tell you. But I'm happy for my boy.
What are you down to now?
I don't know. It's whatever I'm down to right now.
What was the reasoning behind it?
I felt like I'd be better. I feel better, quicker on my feet, more nimble, all of that.
What do you feel you can add to your game at that weight?
Probably extending plays more this offseason, and then during the season, training camp, all of that stuff.
What have you picked up from working with John Beck? 2 or 3 things.
Just sort of using my hips, getting my hips more involved with my throwing, and sort of the rubber band theory. If you guys know about that, you know about it. If you don't, I don't want to explain it right now, so I'm not going to explain it, but it's sort of the rubber band theory.
So what he's talking about with the rubber band theory is he's just activating your hips early in your throwing motion. That's all it's doing, right? And that's a big part of it, right? It's just coming down to his hips, right? So it's just basically activating your hips much earlier in the throw process. That's all it is. So it's nothing crazy at all, right? So now that's that out of the way. Here's when he said another word, I think he's talking about anxious. I think he just wants this done. I think he wants his money. He wants this moved on. He doesn't want to have to deal with this anymore. That's what I think he's talking about I don't think he's pissed off. I don't think he's frustrated. I don't think he's mad. I think he just wants this handled. It's what I told you guys weeks ago. It seems like when they were getting more aggressive, when they were ramping up and making things public, I told y'all, I suggested to y'all, maybe Tua was telling them, hey, listen, I want this done. Start pulling the cords to get this done. And what was the first method they do to get that done? Make the negotiations public on a general manager who doesn't like negotiations to be made public. And that's what they were having happen, right? The holdout with the OTAs that we all poked holes into, and then 48 hours they flipped around and said, well, Tua's turned down deals, right? That was to kind of save some face. So I think, athletes first, the reason why they stepped it up. And, he also sounds quite optimistic if you actually listen to him, right? He talked about there's been a lot of progress made. He said concerned is though he's far off from that word, right? So what we're talking about here is the framework is pretty much done. This is coming down to you listen to him talk when he's talking about how this is a business, blah, 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 blah. It's coming down to the final details. It's coming down to guaranteed money and the structure. Whether that structure is in regards to playtime incentives or how the Dolphins structure it to protect themselves in case of injury. That's what this is all coming down to. I'm telling you right now, it's the finer details of the contract. That's the issue right now. And shout out to the man. What a stud, right? Stud on the field and stud with that hair. Absolutely, absolutely beautiful, man. Shout out to the Sideline Team podcast. They gifted another 10 memberships. Matt Farms, Darth Logan, OG Barry, Chris Kels, Zachary Pedre, TJ Marshall, Nadia Fasil, Jay Shizzy, Michael D, and Caramel Spartan. Listen, it's pinned in the chat. Go show her some love. That's the second day in a row she's gifted memberships to this community. Let's get her to 500, okay? Let's get her to 500. Let's get Brittany in the Sideline Team podcast. She makes her debut. She's at 350. She's 150 away. We've got her 300 subs in 2 days. Let's keep pushing, all right? So because we want her to go live. She's told me, reason I'm going live when I get to 500. So let's apply that pressure, Finside fam. Let's get her to 500, all right? So with Tua, listen, this is where I'm at. It's going to play out. It's going to be fine. He doesn't sound concerned at all. He doesn't sound worried. So now on the flip side, Tyreek went in front of the cameras today. He discussed his contract. He discussed Tua's contract. So let's talk about what Tyreek said in front of, and even talked about retiring as a Dolphin again. Let's talk about what he talked about. Let's look at what he talked about and get into it.
We'll get it out of the way. Hold on. How are you doing today, Tyreek?
Thank you. That's what I'm talking about, man.
What's going on, Woolback?
I'm doing great, man. I'm feeling fabulous, feeling healthy, feeling vibey. It's great to be back in Miami for another year, so it's amazing, man.
Over 585 of you in the room. Smash the like button.
It's a great feeling. As y'all can see, I've been all around the world getting my ass torched by kids. But I'm here in Miami, so I'm great right now, man. I'm feeling good.
So what about the contract?
Oh, that's what y'all want to know. About the contract situation, you know what? I'm going to let my agent do his job. That's his job, man. his job is to be great at that, and my job is obviously, to come out here and continue to do whatever I can to help this team win, whether that's a restructure, whether that's whatever the case may be. You feel me? But we want to make sure that it benefits both sides, and I want to be able to help the team as much as I can. And that's as much as I can say about it. So
when you see guys like Jefferson and Brown get new deals, what is your reaction?
Oh, it's a great day in the Hill household, man. Everybody waking up happy. Wife waking up happy. My oldest son waking up happy. So it's a great day. But at the same time, for me though, it's like a lot of pressure for me though, because at the same time though, like I said, I want to be able to help the team as much as I can. And obviously, we already know being greedy ain't gonna help the team. So whatever happens, happens, man.
Is it challenging for you to compartmentalize it, separate it, and not worry about that when you're out there and do everything that you need to do out there and put it all to the side?
No, it's not. No, it's not, man. Because I know when I'm at work, it's time to go to work. And then whenever it's time to talk contract with my agent or whatever the case may be, it's time to talk contract. So wherever my feet are at, that's where my head is at. So same thing when I go home with my family. I go home with my family, I don't think about football. I think about what I'm going to be cooking next. So,
come on, Jason.
It's also meant to see Jalen get paid, and what's it meant to be kind of a mentor for him?
It's great. It's been awesome, man. Like, just to see his whole development from where he's come from. Because when I first got here, there were a lot of things that needed to be cleaned up. And I was the same way too, though. Young pup, very explosive, fast, could move with some of the best on. But as far as with Jalen, he's done a great job of taking on like some of the things what I've been telling him. And we have such a tremendous receiver coach in Wes Walker that he's been listening to him also. So just to see him get paid, just to see him get recognized as one of the top guys in this league is awesome, man. So it's fun. So now his new nickname for me is 28. Every time I see him, I say, "What's up, 28?" So it's fun.
Tyreek, you said a lot about how you want to retire a Dolphin.
Yeah.
Mike McDaniel talked about it today. For you, if it comes down to maximizing your earnings or ensuring that you're a Dolphin for life, what would
ensuring I'm a Dolphin for life. That's
there you go,
one, man. That's priority number one, man. But this is obviously the best situation for myself and my.
That's a good answer. Thank you.
I don't think it could get any better. Whether it's just the living establishment, the state, the taxes, just everything, the weather, just everything that comes with just living in Miami is just beautiful, man. So we love it, and it's awesome, man, just to be here. Coaches are wonderful, teammates are wonderful, man, and I'm like 20-minute flight from the Bahamas, so I can just go to anytime I want to, man.
This guy.
Yeah, for sure. That's like I feel like people should.
Now he's asking about Tua and is a deal and getting paid.
If you feel like you top 5 or something, that's like if you work at Amazon. If you like one of the best Amazon delivery drivers, you gonna feel a certain type of way. You gonna go to your boss and say, "Hey, bro, I'm doing 100 routes, and this person only doing 65 routes. I'm supposed to be the top paid person." You feel me? So if you feel like you deserve something, go get it. You feel me? Top 5.
How do you feel about Tua's situation in terms of the fact that the contract still hasn't gotten done?
Tua should have been paid. I've been saying this all offseason, man. And I know we got a great, front office with Greer and Shore, and they gonna get it done. Obviously, a lot of people are comparing the Jared Goff situation and stuff like that. But I mean, I feel like Tua is supposed to be up there with some of them guys and past some of them guys, man, because just understanding his story and just the progression of how he's getting better each and every year and how he's carrying this offense, it's crazy. So he's going to continue to get better, because I feel like when you get a new contract, they're not paying you for what you did. They're paying you like it's almost like a investment. You feel me? It's not. Yeah, it's almost like an investment of what you're going to do in the future. So he's continually getting better. He's gradually getting better each and every year. Last year was Pro Bowl. This year going to be a playoff win and much more. So Tua should have been paid.
So there you go. Tyreek Hill comes to the defense of Tua Tagovailoa, saying he should have been paid already. Then Tyreek Hill, there's a lot of positives. Now, he could be just saying the right things, but it seems to him, and this is just what I'm gathering from it, I think his family behind the scenes is saying, yo, you got to get this done. You got to stay. We want to stay in Miami. We don't want to leave. I think he's feeling pressure from from his family, his wife, and his kids too. They don't want to leave Miami, and who wouldn't? I mean, I come down there, for a week, and I don't want to leave. You know what I mean? So I can't imagine living there. So I think, he said the right things. He said he would rather retire. He would rather ensure they can retire. He's a Dolphin than basically get as much money as possible. So that's a very positive thing, and that's going to be relayed to Drew Rosenhaus. The problem is he's fallen outside the top 5 of being paid. You look at this, only receiver ever with back-to-back 1,700 plus yard seasons and 170 plus targets. So I think he just wants to be in that. I don't even think he wants to be number 1 necessarily. I think he just wants to get back in that top 5. He has no guaranteed money left, and he wants more money. He wants more security. That's all. He knows, him and Rosenhaus know they ain't hitting that $56 million number. So they want, and the lack of guaranteed money starts next year. So they knew they had to get something reworked and redone. I think they'll tack on a couple extra years when this is all said and done, stretch it out, and turn a lot of that money into real money and make them happy. So guys, smash that like button. Subscribe if you're new. I appreciate each and every one of you for coming through. Go subscribe to the Sideline Team podcast. And I will be live tomorrow at 5 p.m. Until then, fins up all day, every day. And I'll see y'all on the next one. Take it easy, guys and gals. Love all.